All right, guys, here we're talking about The Good Place, Season 1, Episode 7.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so as predicted, Michael does not
we
jettison off into nowhere.
I was going to say, we
we got more information on what retirement is. I like that.
Yeah, it was good. So, like, I'm like, retirement, okay. And I think we either said or I at least thought, like, okay, let's... So, like, retirement has to obviously be worse. Right?
Yeah.
We kind of called this, right? She goes, like, it's great, he's going to retire, and then I can just live here. It'll be awesome. And then he goes, oh, no, I'll be torn apart for all eternity and burned on 1,000 stars. It's like...
these multiple things. I'll be cut into pieces, and what's left will be hooked through my groin or something.
Yes. Only in the picture, they have like a... That's a dumb joke. I hate that joke. They have like a piñata of him, though, for some reason.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, but the rope will obviously burn on my genitals or something like that. And I'm like... Do you even have genitals? Aren't you a mystical, weird alien in human form?
He does at the moment.
Yeah, he does at the moment.
He's a human now.
That's an unfortunate thing.
That puppet of him, that piñata was creepy as fuck.
Little Ted dancing.
Little Ted dancing.
Little Ted dancing. Most of what's going on here is like the theory of like how stuff all comes together, right? So coming into it, my prediction had already been kind of like warped. Because he had revealed 1 or 2 episodes ago that the architects are not supposed to be there, like physically there, right? Because where I was assuming this was going was, everything's going to hell, and he knows it, and he's like, oh no, what are we gonna do, right? Then he starts getting heat because he says like, oh, my bosses will be furious or something like that, right? Because I still thought there'd be a way for them to do it, but what I assume was going to happen is they're going to introduce his boss, who is going to show up from time to time, right? And he's like, I can't use like my magic or Janet to like trick them because they're in, they're like a part of the system. We have to somehow do like blank or whatever, right? And then he has to be like in on it or like partially in on it with Chidi and like everybody else. And maybe he still wouldn't know about Jianyu, or maybe he'd only know about Jianyu, and they'd all pretend to be hiding him, whereas really they're hiding her too. And then every season finale, Tahani finds out, they introduce all these other characters that speak, slowly become more characters, right? We slowly build up this thing where it's just this funny thing. It's just like Saved by the Bell, where they have to hide something back and forth, or like an old sitcom where it's just everything's this funny, awkward thing of constantly tricking stuff. It's the whatever festival, and then like Michael's boss is there, and they have to act like whatever, but she doesn't know anything about Eleanor's real life, and it's this awkward, funny thing or whatever. All that's luckily been kind of like thrown slowly, right?
I have a different thought.
Okay.
Prediction.
Well, that doesn't work anymore. That's what's so great about like my life here, right?
I don't think mine works either, but it's something I've been working on. But it doesn't seem like it's coming true. So I'll now just tell you what my thought was. I was like, I think maybe more people are fake.
Yeah.
And this is actually hell.
Okay.
And the list we saw that had like, what's her face listed as like, the second worst is actually reverse order, and she's one of the best. And like they're all in hell for different reasons, and this is like a place for like a last mode of redemption, and you can kind of get yourself out of hell. Like this is actually purgatory.
So here's a problem with that. Is I recently saw like a tweet about like there's a big spoiler for The Good Place or something like that
for season 4.
Yeah, but they're on like a new season or something like that.
Season 4 just got greenlit. So that might be for season 3.
Season 3 or something, right? So now I'm like, okay, so there's some sort of spoiler, right? And I had said earlier during some of these talks here that like it seems like everyone's learning lessons, right? Chidi's actually like learning a lesson. Even Michael's like learning lessons.
Yeah.
Right? Which is a whole concept of like almost like Eastern afterlife, like reincarnation, like you come back and kind of like have to learn like a certain lesson based on a previous thing, and it's how you grow and do stuff as like a person or something like that. So I thought I was and I think we've talked about this to some degree, like there's something else going on here. The fact that Michael is saying things don't usually work like this, things don't usually happen like this or whatever. I was worried about the hell thing because the little icon on Netflix is, what's her name, surrounded by fire and all that shit. So I was like, when the fuck does that happen? Is that when the planet explodes? Why are they using that picture? I was like, what the fuck's going on? It's right there every time you click on the fucking show. So I was like, oh no, or something like that. So I'd had that thought too, but I was like, don't say it. You'll make it happen, and then we'll ruin it for ourselves by like getting to it early or something like that. But I'm hoping that it's not just literally hell. But we talked about several things, several theories, even like before we came to that, where we said like, oh, maybe it's this, or maybe it's really that, or maybe like this is all for her and no one's real. And when they played hell, that was just fake, or there's some explanation for why. Or like Michael in like a different color suit and like a different Janet are just hell, but it's exactly the same. But it's not Froyo, it's something else or something, right? It's some weird take on the whole thing, something
fat-free regular ice cream.
There's like different angles that you could take with it, or like whatever. But
I'm down for the ride.
No, that's still like something as simple as like maybe it's been hell the whole time, or maybe it's been X the whole time is totally still on the table. Nothing ruins that at all, right? My prediction was purely about how the mechanics of the show are going to play out, no matter how, no matter what the answers are, right? But the first thing that ruined the direction I thought it was going in was that architects aren't supposed to be there, right?
Yeah.
So like Michael can't be demoted to like live there, and then he gets replaced by someone else in like the next season. Like you can't play that, right? Unless you have a weird.
Well, if we're in uncharted territory, you can do anything.
Yes. Well, no, you can, and they could just make it up. But I feel like the show is telling us that like this is unusual. This doesn't usually happen, so it'd be weird for them to have someone else come in. Right?
No, it would be weird.
You might be able to pull, like a thing like, well, it's taken 1,000 years to, or like 1,000,000 years to even craft this afterlife, and in that time we've tried this several other times, and it usually works. I don't know what's wrong with you, Michael, and then have someone else come in or some dumb thing, but I don't know. What are you gonna say?
No, just I'm curious. Like this episode, I thought I liked Chidi's flashbacks. I like.
Yes.
It was a refreshing thing to see
the boots.
him. And that was part of my hell thing. I'm like, it'd be really funny if you went to hell because of that. Like, if it were hell and they're all in hell for these different reasons.
Okay.
And like, so it's like, oh, like she's been a bad person her whole life. Blah blah blah. This guy tanked someone's career, and this one, that one murdered somebody, and she told someone their boots look good when they really didn't.
When they really didn't. Yes. Where did he rank though? Was he super? I'd have to flesh that out a little more. Like they're gonna have to tell us more too for us to really dig into my
ranking theory is
works.
Also whatever.
No, but I like
that would be funny if that's oh no, he was like number one. That's like the ultimate sin. You can't lie to someone with their shoes.
For one of those dumb fake reason things. Yeah. No, I could see it. So I've been on my own thinking about maybe it's hell the whole time too, and I have to see how that maps out or whatever, right? Because it would be weird if everyone just knows to pretend to be the fake person that they're not or something.
But that's part of the ultimate test.
I like it or whatever.
Is that everybody's under false pretenses, and while you're there, it's like, well, who will ever admit it?
So I was gonna say, right?
And then she, being the worst person, is also the one that actually admits it because she has learned and wants to save her friends and this and that.
So she's been learning this whole time. That's why part of me was like, maybe this is all maybe all these other characters that are there, they're not all just individuals that have a rich life and history. Maybe it's only for these few characters that we actually have followed.
Maybe.
And the rest is just because if Janet's fake and Michael's just in a form, maybe who knows? It could be anything.
Sure.
So I started to get that angle a little bit.
Janet got a lot of room to be an actress in this episode, and I really like that actress.
I loved that whole sequence.
I'm not real. I can't die. You're not going to hurt me. Oh, please, I want to live.
No,
Don't
look
kill
at
me.
Look at me. Eleanor, look at me.
Kids.
The whole thing. No,
this is just a stock image.
This is nothing. No, exactly. This came with the this was from the children's Disney whatever ride or something. No, it was amazing. Her going back and forth, her face when she was explaining, I do not feel pain. I cannot die. I assure you, all these things, and then switching back and forth. But however, I must warn you, there's a failsafe. The whole thing, right? That's so it's cheap in a way. I'm worried about it. If you wrote it down, I'd be I'm concerned about this scene. I think they did a great job.
Very much so.
Because even Eleanor's
best scene of the episode.
She's like, if you have to kill a robot, you gotta do it yourself. And then even she goes, ugh, I can't do this. Oh, it's so real. Ugh.
I wanted Gianni to be the one that pushed the button.
Me too.
I love when he's like, oh, a button. I want to push it.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. No, I actually that's the one thing that I hated was that I kind of like Chidi actually physically hitting it, but I would have liked an elbow maybe or something else because to have his weird hand flop out there or something like that just felt slightly weird.
Yeah.
And it would have been it has to be Chidi because he has to be extra destroyed about the
and
guilt
he's the
or
only
something
one
that
would be, yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like it's not that bad to make him super destroyed about keeping the secret, right? And you could have Johnny be like, no, what? Or something like that, and then have him just feel guilty like separately or something, right? because it like the flashbacks tie in perfectly, where it's that weird I can't lie under any circumstances, not even like whatever.
Yeah,
right?
that can make you feel better.
Yes.
I do love, though, the moment the button is pushed, the screen pops up. I have been murdered! I have been murdered!
Yes. And they go, what do we do? And she immediately goes, you just murdered Janet. We got to run.
Yeah.
And then their weekend at Bernie'sing him or whatever, the whole thing. Like it was a solid meme. It was a good sequence.
When you put glasses on him, he looks way tougher.
He looks super different. It's great. No, I suspect he's an actor too. What do we think? He's British, you said? He might be a British guy because he's so good about his whole thing.
Definitely.
I bet he's in some other movies where he's doing like a whole different thing or whatever.
Like a 1920s gangster guy. I think there's another one where he's like a thespian.
Ancient Rome or Greece or something. Yeah, so everyone hates moral philosophers. A constant theme in his entire life.
Makes sense.
Yeah, there's definitely something more going on. I hope it's not just that it's hell, because then I've been spoiled or whatever by it, not just by you. I've been batting that around like, oh no, or whatever.
As long as it does it tastefully, I don't think I have a problem with any direction the show takes. Just give me some more Ted Danson and call it a day.
No, honestly, I feel like because even if I knew for sure, like spoilers are a thing. And whatever, but if something's good, it's still worth watching, even if you know or suspect, the thing. I have a ton of movies where I'm kind of aware that something happens, or you hear people say that ending though, and I go, okay, I know now it's not just what it looks like. Something happens, you bastard, right? Even like that, I go like, ugh, or whatever. So I've known
but
for
also like, be aware of people throw out fake endings, like we do to people that we like.
But I've known for like. I think since the last talk, maybe, or maybe the one before that something is that there is a thing, right?
It could even be as simple as the real John Yu and the real Eleanor are in hell, and they're breaking hell, where it's like they're helping people out, they're giving water to people, ice water. Where did they get ice?
Where did they get ice? Well, we took this, so they're freezing for all eternity, and they're doing this. We did this thing that would change the thing. Melt the thing. Yeah, it's like the way the show is structured, and that's what what all of my breakdown of all my theories goes back to, is it's so hard to introduce new characters, because even the people that they've given speaking roles to, the way they're shot, the way the scenes work, like they don't even come back, right? We have like Soup Guy, we have I guess the gay couple who are like super happy about garbage, right? We have like the marriage counselor / human lie detector couple, right? But even them,
I took those two garbage guys as completely asexual.
Okay.
They seemed like I love garbage and anything. Oh, frisbees are fun. This is great. They're just like totally just buds.
So they're just, like soulmate could just be generic, where they're just so like
I think so.
I'm pumped about life. Yeah, like we don't get too into there, except for the erotic massage thing, right? We don't get too into, and honestly, no one else has a sex life by that point, right? Except for that.
Yeah.
Marriage counselor couple, because obviously fake soulmate.
I would feel awkward. I'm like, can you even have sex in heaven? Like, it would feel. What's the thing? Should we get married first? Like, how's this work?
It would feel a little weird. Yes, it's interesting. Right. We get to see Chidi though. He says like, I never had a soulmate. I was never really in love.
But he did had
a girl. Yeah, I know.
Which
I was like,
would never have guessed, and I thought almost is like a sin against the character. I don't think that was a way to do this. I don't think Chidi would have a girlfriend.
Yeah. You should have put that conversation somewhere else, right, to make it into a thing. Interesting. Yeah,
I think that should have been like his sister over coffee the next morning or something.
Or he called her in the middle of the night, so she's still in bed. Only it's like split screen or something.
It felt. I was like, wait a minute, that's not Chidi has what?
So, like, I didn't picture him like a lifelong virgin, though, the way that he phrased it. I never had a soulmate in real life. He didn't say, like...
No, I didn't picture him as a virgin, but I did not picture him ever with a serious girlfriend.
This was college, I think, though, so maybe it's, like, a different thing or whatever.
But this was, like, grad school college, so, like, they're, like, 30. Like,
yeah. Well, it's the exact same actor.
Yeah.
It wasn't a deal breaker for me. It was like I was thrown by it, so I was like, oh, that changes my preconceptions or my conceptions of this.
But I don't like that. I don't like when a flashback can disrupt the character.
Can disrupt my characters.
Yeah.
Keep my characters perfect.
So I thought that was an error on the show's part.
Super happy with Ted Danson, because I wrote the line down. when there's the funeral for Janet, and Tahani says some stuff or whatever, and like don't blame yourself, and he goes, I'm not blaming myself, I'm blaming you, and she goes, in her face like. Just like constantly going like, fuck again or whatever, right? Because and that's part of it too, right? Is things are playing out the way that things played out between her and like her sister and all that stuff that we know now. It's really good. I'm liking.
Take it sleazy. You get to say it. Well, you say it back. The moment's ruined.
No, that whole stupid monologue was beautiful. Where he's like, I wanted to be approaching someone, walking down a hallway or something, and just both move to the left, and then laugh at your shared folly, and go through the whole thing. I'm like, oh my god, that's hilarious. Like they're really. Sometimes I feel like they miss where he goes like, how did they afford that apartment? And sometimes I feel like they really hit.
Yeah,
with, like,
this was a good one.
There's something really human about taking something wonderful and ruining it, just a little, so you can have more of it. And you're like, oh god, yay! It's wonderful. Like these little philosophical moments, or like what it means to be human, right? A lot of characters are learning a lot of things, and at the end of this episode, fucking everybody, right? So a lot of my theories about how the show is going to go, personal like theories that I haven't even stated or partially stated, hinged on like Michael, finding out and no one else finding out. Then maybe Tahani finding out, or like Tahani knows about Eleanor but not Jianyu, and everyone else knows about Jianyu, but like Michael doesn't know about right. This like weird circular thing where everyone's like, that isn't something you'd say, honey, and this weird like, oh, it's awkward, funny. But they're all gathered together in the town square, and she fucking gets up and says, by the way, I blow up my spot in front of the whole world. Everything shatters.
What is the exact word
she
says though? She's like, I don't belong here. Or
oh. Did I write down? Well, she says I'm not supposed to be here.
I could picture a Spartacus moment, though, where everyone's like, I feel like I don't belong here.
That would be perfect.
I don't think I should belong. And it does get swept away, and it's like, oh, no, you're all too sweet. You all belong here. No, Eleanor, shut your mouth. You belong here.
So that would, like, ruin my life in a way. So, like,
and then later in private, no, Michael, I really mean it.
I was serious, Michael.
I don't belong here.
Yeah. No, so, like, if I had to guess, that's probably where we're going, is Michael says, you don't have to do that. But everyone claps when he's like, my retirement's postponed. Everyone claps. And he kind of goes, oh, nice, or whatever. Like there's something happening.
Yeah.
Gears are turning here. But yeah, I do suspect he'd be like, you don't have to say that. Oh, guys, listen, you're all good people. Stop doubting yourselves, okay? We're gonna make this work together. We're gonna figure it out. And then Janet walking by, what? Hello, doing her whole thing.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. That's pretty much everything that happened in this episode of The Good Place.
That is where we're at. I'm super. I have so many feelings because we are at a point now where next episode could go in so many different directions.
Yes. I'm excited though.
I'm excited too, but I hate it. I want to incrementally build up so I know what's happening. This type of earth-shattering thing, because it could be anything, literally anything.
Definitely.
And I'm
the whole dynamic of the show can change.
Yeah. Which is refreshing. And listen, having built up all these predictions for all this time, because like in life, I like predict something. I'm driving. Is that person like about to change lanes? He's kind of leaning into this lane. I feel like he wants to change lanes. He changed lanes. Nailed it. I'm always doing this. What time is it? I bet it's this time. Check the watch. Ha ha ha! I was pretty close. That's how I live my life. It's not like a specific thing that I'm trying to predict this show or whatever. So to have everything go is like fun. I enjoy.
Keeps you guessing.
It's like a roller coaster, and we're gonna keep riding that roller coaster into next week.
All right, guys, so let us know in the comments what you thought about this episode. Don't die in a fire, and we will see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.